Well, Kendall Jenner and the artist Bad Bunny have finally split, despite only getting together a few months ago. According to some random news articles popping up this morning, two people who we could all probably care less about have decided to go their separate ways. Now, for some reason, this is news, so let's handle it. A company called People magazine cites sources who claim that two mega ultra superstars have apparently called it quits, although there is no context, explanation, or situation that really explains it. The two have been photographed together out and about at various nightclubs, restaurants, picnics in the park. Maybe not that last one, it doesn't really seem like Bad Bunny's style. Over the past few days, paparazzi have spotted Kendall out and about all by herself. Now, many people claim that she looks exceedingly single as there's no sign of Bunny anywhere, which has apparently been the case for over a month now. According to the most reputable news source there is, TMZ, this dude's been MIA in LA for a hot minute. That is a direct quote. Pure genius right there. The last time the two were actually spotted together was at a breakfast place in Beverly Hills. MIA in LA, breakfast in Beverly Hills. Am I crazy or are those good song titles? This was after the big Halloween bash, and before that day, these two were inseparable. They appeared all over LA and sometimes not in LA. Well, there are other places that exist. What's funny about the outings is that they seem to be coordinating their exits so that they're never actually pictured together. How great would it be if these two have not been dating at all? People just saw them together once and were like, you're dating now. Facts are that Kendall and Bunny have never actually come out and said, hey, we're a couple. She's never actually gone Instagram official, which is the big sign that something is not right. What a world we live in. They appeared in some Gucci campaigns together, but that was very corporate and work related. It wasn't really a couple out on a date. There have been some intimate moments between the two, like when they were spotted on horseback riding through the countryside together, Bunny holding tight while Kendall took the reins. There were only 6 casualties that day, including the horse. They seemed like they were on track to be a happy couple for a long time, but now they have split. A tale as old as time. The rumors that they were a couple date back to February, but many speculate that it could have been way before that. Earlier this year, the musician, known as Bad Bunny, was spotted on a night out with his boo-boo Kendall, the youngest of the Kardashian clan. Now, these two were seen together having a little tiff at a Lakers game, of all places. The two were sitting courtside wearing the skin of their enemies on their boots, aka snakeskin, and while the game was mostly filled with smiles and happiness, there was a moment before the game got too heated where it looks like the couple might not be as close as people thought they were. In a short clip taken from the game, Bad Bunny leans in close to Kendall and he whispers something that makes her face go from ooh I love basketball to this isn't the time or place. Now, at first the speculation was that there was an uncomfortable question being asked and then people moved on, but the way that Bunny's mouth is shaped, it looks like that he just had bad breath and Kendall was getting a whiff of it. The rest of the game was okay and they had a good time, but their faces were never that close again. Oh right, the whole real reason thing, well, I don't know. That was just to get you to click the video. I appreciate your interest and I'm sorry to say that that is the extent of my knowledge onto why they've broken up. To be perfectly honest, the only reason I know who Bad Bunny is because of his performance in Bull Let Train as the wolf. He's in the movie for like 10 minutes, but he steals the show. I also know him from his gig hosting Saturday Night Live a few months back, and if you've made it this far into the video and love Bad Bunny, just go watch that episode. I have to say he did a great job. But in total, honestly, I just don't know why Kendall and Bunny broke up, or even if they actually did. So instead of droning on for 10 minutes trying to squeeze out every ounce of gossip I can, let's instead just talk about the Kardashian family as a whole. There are many mistakes, their failed business plans, and much more. If that sounds good to you, drop a like down below and please follow our channel if you haven't already. So let's get going. So what are some bad Kardashian moments? Well, let's talk about like the time the family went grave shopping on their show. Now, window shopping isn't weird. We all love to mindlessly walk around a store that we know well and good we will be purchasing nothing from. But the Kardashian family doesn't go to Hot Topic. Or maybe they do. I live in Canada and I haven't seen them yet. Instead, this family likes to window shop for coffins and grave plots. During an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, momager Kris Jenner decided that the best gift that she could give her kids was a nice, comfortable place to keep their lifeless husks tucked away when they pass. Kris and the crew spend the day trying to decide what model of coffin they wish to purchase, with Kris going so far as to actually getting in one to see if it's cozy. Hey, if you're trying to get cozy in your coffin, you're still alive! Bang on that lid. On top of shopping for physical coffins, she also took her kids on a tour of a graveyard that seemed to boast some pretty stellar plots. There is such a serious conversation over the choice of in the ground or in a mausoleum made of marble. Which one do you think they went with? Then of course there is the more candid moments on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like following a brief discussion on the practice of eating the stuff that comes out after we're born. Yeah, that's a thing. Kim and Kourtney decided to hatch a plot where they would trick their family into thinking they had just eaten placenta. There, I'm only saying it once. That was the stuff. The sisters go through an elaborate preparation and brag to their family about the mystery meat they have purchased. As the evening goes on, they continue to plant the seeds right up until the forks are plunged into the meat. Following the meal, they decided that it was the perfect time to tell their family they just dined on the stuff. Of course, their immediate reaction is disgust and anger, wouldn't we all be? At the same time, don't eat mystery meat, especially if it's cooked by Kim Kardashian. That is a disaster waiting to happen. That could be an actual person for all we know. Kim's wild. They let the prank play out for some time, with Caitlyn Jenner almost blowing her chunks all over the table. But after a few moments of panic, they let it slip that the meat they had just eaten was actually brisket. But needless to say, Kim is no longer in charge of family dinner night. Now, Kendall is not just known for her ability to get in and out of relationships or for being on a reality show, she's actually also known for her acting abilities. Now, sponsored brand deals can mean a lot of money for the people involved. Just look at every cologne on the planet. They hire someone to stand on a beach for 30 seconds and they make $1 million. Around 2017, Kendall Jenner decided to partner with the soda brand Pepsi to create a commercial that would act as both an ad and a PSA against hate. The commercial consisted of hundreds of people from different parts of the world drinking Pepsi, and eventually everyone comes together on the streets of what looks like New York, and Kendall looks to the crowd, wipes off her makeup, and follows suit. Now, the cringe comes when the crowd of people appear to be at a standoff with the police. Kendall walks through the crowd and gives an officer a can of Pepsi. He sips it, and everybody cheers before they swarm the cops, who are suddenly just cool with everything that's happening. The ad was meant to be a political statement following the passing of several African American men and women in the United States, aiming to bring people together, which it did, but for the wrong reasons. The world collectively cringed at this absolute mess, forcing Kendall to drop an apology video on that season's premiere of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She may have apologized, but we're never gonna forget that weird brand deal. Now, apart from cringy commercials and television moments, did you know that the Kardashians are kind of terrible people? Who would have guessed? Especially to the people that they employ. Kim Kardashian is arguably the most famous of her Kardashian sisters, and apparently she's also the busiest. For example, she has 4 kids, a skincare line, Skims brand, she's attending law school, she co-founded an equity team, and she recently hopped on the podcast train in addition to filming that new show on Hulu. Now, you may be asking yourself, how does one woman do all of that by herself? Well, she pays people to do it for her. Secret spilled. She has multiple assistants and nannies to help her stay above the overwhelming workload, but has been known to treat them as lesser than herself. For instance, on several occasions, Kim and her daughter North would be out to lunch, accompanied by their nanny. But Kim makes her not only sit at a separate table, just really far away from them at the restaurants, but she's also known to make her nannies walk like 10 feet away from her at all times. Unless she has multiple people with her, and then she likes to make them walk in like a flying V formation, cause I guess she's a fan of Mighty Ducks. If they walk near her or attempt to walk side by side, she blows up on them behind closed doors. Needless to say, she's had many nannies over the years and has probably made them all cry at least once. But while Kim may not be the best boss in the world, it's actually Kourtney who is known by far to be the worst Kardashian to work for. Not only is she a neat freak, needing every single thing to be exactly where it should be, but she's also known for being surprisingly cheap, even once calling a grocery store while she was shopping to compare the prices of a chicken breast, cause hey, if anyone needs that extra 99 cents, it's Kourtney Kardashian. But this isn't the worst thing that she's done. At one time, Kourtney's daughter had bitten a nanny so hard that she actually had to quit, but instead of letting it go and taking responsibility for, not teaching her daughter how to act properly, she berated the nanny and told her that she should have said something to her daughter. Cause yes, blame the woman who you're paying to raise your kid instead of the kid itself, who probably has abandonment issues. Now, the worst by far though of everyone in the family is Kylie. In 2019, she partnered with a company called Ulta that allowed her to sell her line of skincare and beauty products in their stores rather than just in pop-ups or online. And this is unfortunate considering the true nature of where these products come from. A lot of employees at the factories that mix and package these makeup and beauty products have reported that they were never given proper safety equipment, that you would need to do the job. They were only given hair nets, lab coats, and safety goggles, leaving their hands and faces completely exposed, and workers would regularly report migraines and chemical burns on their hands. If this isn't bad enough, they were also forced to act as human test subjects for Kylie's new products. Now, she has always been very proud of the fact that her company does not test products on animals, but I think we can all agree that doing it on people is like way worse. Not only did they not have proper safety equipment and were basically used as human test subjects whenever Kylie wished, but the factory itself is a small, cramped one with many employees claiming that there were too many workers and not enough space. This description sounds very similar to, a sweatshop, which is a word describing a workplace in which the employees work ridiculous hours in brutal conditions for nearly nothing for pay, and many employees agree with that statement. One former tester recounts having to constantly go back and forth as her anxiety was just always through the roof, having to be around so many people in such a terrible work environment. At one point a few years back, Kylie even refused to pay her employees at a garment factory in Bangladesh, leaving thousands of employees with no money and no idea when or if they would return to work. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. It means a lot to us here at the channel when you actually finish the videos. I know you clicked thinking one thing, but I hope this was a bright spot in your day. Leave a like down below and let me know that you made it to the end. Follow the channel if you haven't already, and thank you again for stopping beyond the screen. We'll see you next time.